there for a while, but what was the most important thing about running?
What was the?
You said
What was the first part?
Just talking about Jalen Green and for the how much you know that bond together. What was the most important thing for you to see that?
I think just caring about each other. You know, you got two young players in the league, and you got to coexist. You know, you got to care about each other's success. You got to when one guy's having a big night, you got to cheer him on. You know, you got to contribute to that and not compete with him. You know, and also get to know one another. I think when you do that, and you know a person, it's easier to become friends with them. It's easier to be a supporter of them, and to care and have their best interest. And I think that's something that me and CJ established really early. And you know, it's a huge reason why we've been able to have success with our team and have success with each other. You know, without getting in each other's way from being productive. So it seems like the younger that the league gets is going to be harder and harder for them. You know, because you never know who's in guys' ears, what they're being told, especially for the younger players. And the good thing about us was our moms was around each other. We was at each other's house all the time, so it was we became close. You know, we became like brothers, and it made everything on the court that much easier.
And what did you like tonight about this year's game?
Just that it's, I think we all know what he brings something to our team that nobody else does. You know, the athleticism, the competitiveness, the pop. And it can be infectious defensively on the defensive glass, the offensive glass. His slashing. Nobody else has that ability to affect the game the way he can. So I think seeing him come out and do it at that level, I think that should excite everybody. Just seeing that he's putting it together, and that he's capable of having a performance like that. So, I was happy to see him do what we've seen him do behind closed doors, a lot. I mean, I cussed his ass out in the first half and he tried to throw a lob. When I threw it to him and, it ended up being a turnover. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're not a lob thrower. I've never seen you throw a lob. The dude is under the basket, you running full speed, dunk on him. Like, don't do that shit no more. Like, so I got on him and he was like, I got you. And then the next time I had it in transition, I saw him run down the court. I was kind of like, man, this dude might take a charge on Nas, because I saw the play happening. But I threw it to him anyway. And, I noticed he tried to jump to the side of him still, but he still went over the top of him, and the referees rewarded a good basketball play by not calling it. And as soon as he did it, when he came to me, he was like, I told you I got you. Like, that was the first thing he said. So it was just good to, to see him, make that play.
Statistically, you guys didn't have a great game, so it was pretty important. His play was pretty important.
No, it was. It was. I mean, every game is going to be different. Sometimes it's going to be an ugly game. Tonight we didn't have our most beautiful performance, but these are the games that you got to still find a way to win, and you also want to learn and get back to the hotel or get back to our next film session and talk about that. But you rather talk about it in a win than in a loss. They're a young team, a lot of talent, a lot of energy, a lot of pace, and they play an unpredictable style. Run a lot of sets. You never know who's going to take the shot, who's going to attack, who's going to be crashing. I mean, you just don't know. And usually when you play against a team that's that unpredictable, it's an ugly game.
Dang, yesterday, Kevin Porter Jr. told us a story how you guys first met when he was in high school. How has it been over the last 3 to 4 years just to see him grow into being a starting point guard for the Rockets today?
I mean, I'm happy for him, man. I met him. He was in high school. I was at our practice facility, and he was doing USA basketball. And I sat there and watched. I just came to the PF to get some shoes so I can go work out somewhere else because they had the scrimmages going on at our facility. And I saw them playing pickup, and I sat in there and I watched. And there's a lot of NBA personnel in the building, and they like talking about all these players. And I was like, maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about, but I think he the best player in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I thought at the time. I was like, he's better than all these dudes that y'all saying is whatever the rankings are. So I always liked his game from that point on. And then I bumped into him and Kenyon Martin Jr. and Ben McLemore this summer in Cabo. That's like my favorite spot. And we sat there and talked for a while by the pool. But he's misunderstood. I think he's gotten a little bit of trouble, has some issues, and in this league and in professional sports, it's easy for people to just judge young athletes, and I think he's been a victim of that. Obviously, you make mistakes, you better be ready to take what comes with it. But, he's kind of been judged and misunderstood, but the talent level is through the roof. He can do everything. Personally, one of my favorite young players in the league. And, I'm just happy to see him getting the opportunity to spread his wings, and do his thing.
And you, maybe not a relief, but just it has to feel good to get that first road, but just to kind of get that off as like something you're thinking about. Like, do you feel that at all, or is it just like it's a game?
I mean, it's good to get a road win. I think it's easy to look at their record and say you should win this game, but if you look at their games, I've seen them play a lot, and they've given everybody trouble. I haven't seen many of their games where it's like they don't have a chance. They almost beat the Lakers in LA. They've given teams a run for their money, so on their home floor, there's even more of a chance for that to happen. And who are we to come in here and expect them to win a game at the same time? So it's good to get a win, especially on the road. We haven't done that until tonight. And I also think, it's an easy story to tell. Like they haven't won on the road, and it becomes a bigger deal than it has to be. But I'm happy that we ended that, and now we can just kind of move on and, I guess, getting our second win.
Your first year as a rookie, Jay was going to the same thing. We kind of went through his first year. Your first year, y'all were not a winning team, and so the Rockets this year, they're not a winning team. But
my first year, we was a winning team. We
to
the last 13 games, we lost the last 13 games of the season, but we was in a spot. But I understand.
Yeah. So what's your advice for him? Because it can swing for them too as well, because they're, like you said, they're not an easy team to beat. So you think that it could change for them, or what's the advice you have for him now?
I think he's, obviously super talented, but when I came in the league, I was just, like I said earlier, you never know who's in, young guys' ears and what they're being told, what information they're being fed. For me personally, my family was like, you get to play with LaMarcus Aldridge and Nick Batum. It was like, for me, it was an honor. So I came into the situation just trying to be the best version of myself and help the team. Even though I was a sixth pick, I didn't make it like I'm about to come in here and take over and I'm gonna be the man. I earned everybody's respect by doing the right things, working hard, being coachable, listening to my teammates that have been here before. And eventually they started to just push me out there more and more, like, be aggressive. You need to take more shots. You need to do this, so I would that would be my advice to him, is to, don't listen to people telling you, you this pick, you're supposed to be the man, you got to do this and take over and all that. Just, show up, work hard, stay humble, be coachable, listen to your teammates that have been around, and your talent and all the other things are going to allow you to be the star that you're supposed to be, but you got to make sure that the foundation from when you first come in the league is right. Or you can also be that pick that's super talented that, end up bouncing from team to team, but he was always a talented player. So that would be my advice to him.
Time for one more.
Seeing him on film and now playing against him, what are your first impressions so far?
Of Jalen Green?
Yes.
Obviously, he's super athlete. He loves to play in transition, like a lot of young players, they want to play in transition. He's above the rim, he's crafty with the ball in his hands. He can make tough shots, but also, like any young player in this league with a lot of opportunity, they're trying to find their way. You learning the game, you seeing what's going on out there, and just finding your way is new. It's the highest level, and it takes time to fully become what you're going to become. But, I love watching him. Just being able to watch that talent and him being on a young team, so he's gonna get his opportunity to show what he can do is fun to watch. You just watch and hope that a lot of these young guys are growing, and moving in the right direction and not just being a super talent.
Good. Thanks, Nick. Thank you.